Hi, it's Debbie Williams here, and today I want to talk about how to stop binge eating. Now, if binge eating's been a problem for you, then I'm sure that your mind is highly focused on binge eating and trying to not binge eat and trying to hope that, I hope I don't binge today, I hope I can be good, and all of these kind of things. When really the best way to stop binge eating is to change your focus completely and create a new goal for yourself on how to become lean, healthy and happy. And as you focus on that and look at mastering the strategies of what lean, healthy, happy people do, it will gradually pull you out of the binge eating disorder. Now, hypnosis or good hypnosis and NLP has been shown to really help people to master strategies of lean people, and it's a great way to support you on your goals. I have quite a lot of free videos on this channel that can help you, from a little 10-minute trance of overcoming binge eating to a full-blown program that you can download from me. I'll put the link on here, where I give you more than enough recordings, more than you'll actually need, but that will support you. Because many times when I see people for binge eating or bulimia or any other eating disorder or weight loss, it can take 2 to 3 sessions or sometimes up to 10 sessions if the person is really sort of locked into that mindset of being a binge eater. And see, to get out of the binge eating behaviour, we want to focus on what do those lean, healthy, happy people do that feel comfortable with food. Now, a client of mine came the other day, it was her, I think, 2nd or 3rd session for overcoming her binge eating disorder. And she said, I'm totally confused. When I went away on holiday, everything was absolutely perfect. And she went with her parents and she said, I was able to eat normally. And my mum said, should we go down and have a coffee and a cake? And we went to, the cafe, and we had a coffee and a cake, and it was lovely. And she said, I had all the things that I've been denying myself, and I felt at peace with myself. I felt I could think straight. And then when I came home, it was almost like I went straight back into the old binge eating pattern. And I said, unfortunately, this is sometimes what happens, but it was a way for me then to reinforce to her, we need to keep your happiness success journal. And we identified all the progress that she had been making. And basically, I'm pulling out what is working and building on that of the times where she has eaten like a lean, healthy, happy person. And the interesting thing was that without realising it, she gave me what I needed to help her in that session, because she told me when she was on holiday, her mum had been so supportive of her that there wasn't really any extra food in the house at all. So after she'd eaten, she noticed that if she was left on her own at any time, she'd get up and she'd think, I'll just go and see what's in the cupboards. I'm just going to go and have a look. Now, this is the start of like the button playing, this old record of triggering off a binge. And normally what she'd do, she'd look in the cupboards, she'd see stuff, and then she'd, as she said, was in a complete trance and would just eat and eat and eat. Yet on holiday, she went to the cupboards and she opened them and they were bare. And so it thought, there's nothing in there. So she toddled back into, the room where everybody else was. And so I said, we just need to replicate that at home. And within my program, which there will be a link here, I get people to set a plan of what they're going to eat over the next week and put in all the foods that they would enjoy, but also have a list of the foods that are healthiest, and then look at the plan and think, will this take me nearer to where I want to go or further away? And to balance it out, that you have one sort of naughty type food or bingy type food a day, but there's a lot of structure with my program and lots of techniques which will help you to be able to do that. And for her, we identified that, she feels lonely in between meals, or somebody leaves her, then her brain triggers, let's go and have a look in the cupboards. And I said, this brings in another part of my program, is that we need to start keeping what I call, first of all, a board list, that then we transform it into a champagne list. And the first thing that I'd put on that champagne stroke board list is, whenever you have space, then make time to go and listen to one of my hypnosis recordings and use another of the techniques that I teach of procrastination, of thinking, I could go and look in the cupboards, but maybe I'll do that later, because before I do that, I'm going to listen to one of Debbie's hypnosis recordings and just listen as if I'm in a session with her, that whatever she's saying, there's going to be something relevant and useful for me. And so what we want to do is to break that pattern. And she said that would work, yeah, because after I've done that, I'll be thinking, well, it's not that far before I eat again, because I get people to plan to have 3 meals a day and 3 or 4 snacks. And I set it up that we mark for success. I've developed this way of doing it where it's minimum work on your part, but you can see the outcome. And I'll show you the sheets like this. Basically, it's just ticking a sheet of a behaviour that you've done that's worked. These are my sheets, and they're slightly different because the ones that come in the pack come out with the specific habits that will help you overcome binge eating and to learn to eat as a lean, healthy, happy person does. And as you can see, I've got a few ticks there. That week wasn't particularly good. There's that month didn't do that well. Well, with ticks I didn't do that well. That month is a little bit there, did well there, didn't really bother there. And there you can see it's quite ticked, so there's a goal for myself if I did well. And so you can see these are actually my sheets, because obviously I can't really show you client sheets, that I used after I had my son to ensure that I lost the 4 stone that I put on, because I knew that if I didn't have a plan I could easily stay sort of overweight. Because I was overweight as a child, I didn't have a lean person strategy, but I know that what I teach works. So by using the techniques of NLP and hypnosis, it can get you on track to eating as a lean, healthy, happy person does. And as I say to my clients, you know, think about maybe the next year that you're studying for a diploma in what lean, healthy, happy people do. And if you wanted to get started, I would say perhaps go for my Lean for Life recording. It's downloaded as £19. If you're a little bit wary and you don't want to spend any money with me, then don't. Watch all of my videos and see if we gel, because there's lots and lots of free help there that can help you. But you have to get serious and you have to have a plan. It's like, you know, if you were driving somewhere and you don't have a direction, then you're likely to drive all over the place and not arrive at your destination. But if you make a decision, right, this year is going to be my best year ever and I'm going to master the strategies of lean, healthy, happy people, then maybe watching some of Debbie's videos, it'll trigger off an idea, oh yeah, that would work, oh yeah, and that would work, and test them for yourself. And if you're ready to take the program, then come on board with that, because it gives you the opportunity then, if you struggle with something and there isn't a video on it, you can email me directly and I will do a video for you on that specific thing. And as my lady said, you know, now I know that I can interrupt that pattern, and she's thought of loads of things that she could write on her list. And some of those was like, you know, if I had time I might listen to the Stop Stress one of the downloads, because that is one that sort of is totally away from eating or anything like that, but it also gives the brain an opportunity to have a new template, so that if you eat because you're stressed and we start putting in strategies and techniques that relax and calm you, then we eliminate one of the triggers for overeating. And the other thing that sometimes to get yourself in the mindset is to do what I called the millionaires planning strategy. See, they worry just the same as everybody else about the worst case outcome, but they have a follow-up step after that. And so how this would work for you is if you wrote down your fears. Well, if I did a plan and I ate normally for the next few weeks of all the foods that I really, really enjoy, would that take me near to where I want to go or further away? Or would it make me fearful because I'd probably eat normally all week and I still have the binge at the weekend? Or, you know, I can't get out of this pattern of starving all day and then binging later. Then the worst that could happen is that you might put on a couple of pounds. But I don't think that that would happen if you followed this and used the hypnosis, because my hypnosis products all suggests about your false appetite going away on holiday for good. So there's tons and tons of stuff to put your mind into a better trance than the binge eating trance, if that makes sense. And so by focusing on that, it helps lift that weight of the world off your shoulders. So the worst case scenario, if that was the worst case that would happen, it's not going to be something that's going to last. And when you think about it, even if you put on 3 or 4 pound, you probably wouldn't feel any worse than you do at times now, because binge eating is a torturous way to run your mind. It really, really is. You know that. And so if you think about it, well, worst case scenario, even if I put on half a stone, then at least I've got my arms, my legs, I've got, hopefully your health, I've got shelter, I've got access to food, I've got, I'm not in a war zone. Compared to the 90% of the planet, you're in the top 10% richest human beings. And I know this isn't much compensation, but it's facing your worst case scenario and then making a decision, right, what if the next 12 months I committed to mastering eating the way lean, healthy, happy people do? So I plan for myself nice foods to look forward to. I don't have crisps in the house, because if they trigger me, if I want crisps, I go out and I have a packet somewhere as a treat, or I go out and have one slice of cake as a treat, but I put that in my plan. Now, it's a bit of a challenge for me to explain everything that I do in the programme just on this video, but if you did get the programme, you'd see that there's a lot of stuff there that you can work through, and that I'm available to help you if you needed some extra video help, or you come up against a roadblock like my client. This will help her to reinforce what we did in the session, that you're going to have the first thing on the chart is that you can eat what you want as long as you enjoy every mouthful, and that's also linked with having a plan. So your plan is there, and it's like, this is what I'm going to eat. If I stick to this during the week, then that will take me nearer my goals rather than further away. And there's treats in there, so that there's an opportunity to put 3 meals a day, 3 snacks, up to 6 or 7 ticks. And the idea is to get more ticks the following week than the previous week, and to know that it's not a straight road, but if you're determined, then the other side is much, much happier. Another client that phoned up the other day said to me, he said, well, just talking to you has given me hope, because I've been to pretty much everyone, even I think she was on the anorexia, supersized, super skinny thing, and it didn't help, because a lot of times when people have anorexia and they get help from a doctor, it doesn't necessarily cure them, because it doesn't teach them strategies of what lean, healthy, happy, normal people do. It just gets them eating, and then they fall into the binge eating habit because they're still messed up with their strategy, if that makes sense. So my program would work for anyone with an eating disorder, because the whole focus is working on eating like a lean, healthy, happy person. And it has CDs in there like Stop Binge Eating, which has certain techniques that if you were going to have a binge and you put it on, it can give you a virtual binge. But again, the mainstay of it is the Lean for Life recording and a lot of the other forward focusing ones, so that it pulls you out of the behaviour into being lean, healthy and happy. Anyway, it's great talking to you today. Bye now.